The Maqasidic Tafsir.
Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end?
Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers presents a new class, the Maqasidic Tafsir, being taught and brought to you by Ustada Layla Nashiba. Please stay tuned, streaming on all major platforms, right here on channel Sunnahfollowers.
Inna alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our new series called the Maqasidic Tafsir. The Maqasidic Tafsir. And this has become one of my personal favorite classes to teach. Okay. I really am enjoying teaching this class. I've been wanting to teach it for a while, and alhamdulillah, now I'm able to. And I'm really hoping that the rest of you are benefiting from this series too, because my teachings have always been maqasid. My teachings here as a daya have always been maqasid. That means what? What do I mean by maqasid? Let's see. What is the meaning of that Arabic word? I'm trying to get you guys familiar with that terminology. When I say that my teachings have always been maqasid, what am I saying in English? Anyone? Anyone? When I say that my teachings are maqasid, what am I saying in English? Who would like to try? I know it's kind of a hard term for many of you. It's a new term. I'm trying to acquaint myself with it too. Come on, who's going to give it a try? We ain't got all night. Hello, get on that mic, Zoom. Oh, okay. MashaAllah, look at Sister Carol. MashaAllah, when I say that my teachings have always been maqasid, yeah, that's what I mean. Good job, Sister Carol. That means that my teachings have always been evidence-based. Okay. It also means what else? What else? Not just evidence-based. What else am I saying? When I say that my teachings are maqasid, it means they're evidence-based.
But it's upon the correct understanding from the Prophet Muhammad.
No, that's what evidence-based means. Yeah, that's not just evidence-based. What else?
Opinion.
No, I don't do I deal with opinions? Are my teachings based on opinions, guys?
Also, it's based on hadith.
Yeah, that's all evidence. That's what evidence means. My teachings are never opinion-based. I don't deal with opinions. If I were dealing with opinions, we would be a mathab. That's what the mathabs are. A mathab is a school of thought. I am not a school of thought. I don't deal with opinion. Okay, when I say that my teachings are maqasid, what I'm saying is my teachings are designed to cause you to reach high in your understanding of this religion. And the way to attain that high understanding is by basing it on the evidence, as Sister Carol said, the evidence provided by the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his companions. So that in turn, that's what this one word means. Y'all see how Arabic is a language unlike English. That one word means all of this. So that in turn, you can take you will have the correct understanding, and in turn be able to implement it or apply it to your life. That's what Maqasid means. All of that. That's a lot of statements in English, isn't it? But that's the Arabic meaning of that word. That's why I tell y'all, Arabic ain't no religion. It's a language, and it ain't nothing like English. It's hard. That's why the Arabs themselves don't even speak the Fusha. The Fusha is hard to understand, man, because one word can mean all of that. So when I tell you that again, what is meant by Maqasid, it means I'm going to aim high. I'm going to aim high to try to grasp the most correct understanding, which is based on the evidence provided by the Prophet Muhammad and those companions. And in turn, I'm going to take that understanding and live by it, apply it to my practical life and live by it. Y'all write that down. That's Maqasid. That's Maqasidic. So I never base anything on opinion. I am against opinions. I've spoken against opinions since day one. Since I was 12, I was taught to stay away from madhabs. Mukhtar's father, may Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins. Mukhtar's father taught us as a kid when I was 8, 9 years old, don't ever deal with nobody's opinion. Don't never deal with anybody's theory. The only opinion that matters in this world is Allah's and the Prophet Muhammad's. And if there's an understanding that we need to have broken down to us, he taught me, you look to see what Aisha's understanding was of it. So don't ever say Layla teaches opinion, because I don't teach that. No. All right, so this has become my favorite class. And today we're going to be covering pages 59 through 63 of the book. And for those of you who have not yet purchased the book, this is a picture of the book. Go to Amazon. And in fact, let me put that on here. I'm going to give it, yes. The price, yeah, some of the, okay, I'm going to give you the price. You find it on Amazon. Amazon, and it's $19.99 in American money. $19.99. Okay. Can you people on Twitch see? This is for the people on Twitch. There it is for the Twitchers, the Maqasidic Tafsir. You can buy that on Amazon for $19.99, written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. That's his picture there. That's why I use his picture. For those of you on YouTube, there it is. The Maqasidic Tafsir. And for those of you on Facebook, there it is. Okay. $19.99, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid's book. If you can get all three, well, he's more than three. He put out a new one. Boy, I can't wait to get to that one. Juz Amna. Oh, God. He put Juz Amna out. Girl, but we got to work our way up to that. You have to learn how to crawl before you walk. And that's why I like how Kareem Abu Zaid writes his books. He writes his books as a trilogy, or he writes them, as a series, because you have to learn how to crawl before you can walk. Islam was revealed in stages. Islam was not revealed all at once. The Quran was sent down in stages. Allah did not send the book of the Quran down in the month of Ramadan like many people think. No, it was a period of years. Years. Okay? And by the way, the Quran are the words of Allah. It's not the creation of Allah. And we're going to talk about that because a lot of you that are listening to me, you keep typing. I'm seeing what you're typing. The Quran is not the creation of Allah. I can see your religious background. I can see what type of background many of you come from, especially those of you here who are typing that the Quran is the creation of Allah. It's not. The Quran are the words of Allah. It's Allah speaking. Allah speaking to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah speaking to us, not directly. And by the way, Allah did not speak directly to the Prophet Muhammad either, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah spoke to the Prophet Muhammad through the angel Jibreel. Okay, and that's another class. We're going to cover all of that beginning next week when we complete diluting al-wala wal-bara. We're going to go back to the basics of what it means to believe in Allah. So we'll talk about the Quran and how it's the words of Allah, not its creation. And we'll speak about Allah speaking directly to people. We'll cover all of that in that class. And that book is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd too. All right. So get a copy of that book too. For those of you who don't have Get to Know Your Lord, when you go to Amazon to buy this, buy that too, because I'll be teaching it in the next couple of weeks. So what we've been speaking about here is how the goal of each and every one of us as Muslims should be paradise. What is my purpose in life? I was created to worship Allah. I was put here on this earth to be tested in my belief in Him. Every day of my life is spent proving to Allah that I do believe in Him and that I put Him before the rest of His creation, including myself, including my children, including my money, my parents. Every day of my life, I'm going to be faced with choices. And I need to understand that every choice comes with a consequence. Some consequences may be good based on the good choices I make. But then other consequences may be bad based on the bad choices I make. So life is a test. Just because we say we believe in Allah does not mean that life is going to be a bowl of cherries for you. The stronger your faith, the stronger your practice, the more severe your trials will be. We understand that. We understand that Allah is the creator of everything, but He doesn't jump in our bodies and make us choose. You have free will. We make our own choices. Allah just knew what our choices would be, but He didn't make you make them. These are the basics that we have to understand, and understanding that will aid us in having a successful life in this world. And the last time we met, we talked about another aid for us in this world are the laws of Allah. We talked about how Allah, not only did He create us and out of His mercy tell us what our purpose is, but He also created laws. And let's take a look at the quiz for today, because I'm going to give you a quiz based on what we talked about when we met in this class the last time. Remember, I told you guys that we was going to have a, oh, wait a minute, we were. Let me fix this up. That we were going to have a quiz. Let me make sure I got the PowerPoint. It did. Let me make sure the PowerPoint transferred to this computer. Remember, that's what I was checking, guys. Oh, here. I think here it is. It transferred. was going to say, we're going to be, oh, what is this? Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Something going on here with this other laptop. Okay, this is the power. Open. Okay, here it is. That's the PowerPoint. Okay, it transferred now. That was weird. Okay, so let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen, because I'm going to give you a quiz. There we go. Remove this. Make it this Zoom room. See, I run the Zoom room too, and this Zoom is getting on my nerves because it gets in my way. Tonight, I'm going to try to figure out a way that I can screen share and this Zoom is not all up in my way, because I can't move nothing because of this big, ugly bar. Okay. Oh, see? See how the Zoom gets in the way? Let me move it down here from the beginning. Okay, now let's try it. Let's hope y'all can just zoom out the way. Okay, everybody can see? Okay, inshallah, I'm going to start off with a quiz. The last time we met for this class, we talked about a Sharia, the laws of Allah. The laws of Allah, known as Sharia law. We talked about how the Arabic word Sharia does not mean kill. Sharia does not mean death. Sharia does not mean war. Sharia does not mean terrorists. Sharia is an Arabic word that means the laws, the commands, the obligations of Islam. So we talked about how when the young brothers come to me and they ask me, dear Sister Layla, how do we implement Sharia law in America when America is not a Muslim country? That's why I tell the brothers to rephrase it. Don't use Arabic. I don't want y'all to use Arabic because you don't know what you're saying. Use English. And now repeat to me. Because if you're using English, the question would be, dear Sister Layla, how am I to implement the laws, the obligations, and the commands of Allah in America? The answer is simple. The same way you implement his laws, his commands, his obligations in France or in Saudi Arabia or on the moon in any other country. That's the meaning of the word Sharia. It doesn't mean punishment. It doesn't mean war. It means laws, commands, obligations. And as Muslims, we are obligated to uphold Allah's laws, to uphold Allah's commands, to uphold Allah's obligations no matter where you are. Okay? And then we talked about how Allah's laws, his commands, his obligations are divided into 3 different categories. And we talked about one of the first categories the last time we met, the category of life, the category of necessity, in other words, the necessities of Allah's laws. And we talked about how that means there are certain things that we are obligated to do. Let's take a look at what I have here as a quiz for you. First of all, in order to understand Allah's laws and his obligations, and his rules and guidelines. We talked about how we first have to understand why Allah created these things. So this is the first question. And again, this book is very complicated. So that's why I'm explaining it in plain, simple English to you guys. Who can tell me, why did Allah create his laws? Why did he create his guidelines? Right? Why did he create his rules? Why? And remember, to answer this question, you're going to have to fall back on La ilaha illallah. What does that mean? You're going to have to fall back on why you were created, what your purpose in life is. The stuff I spoke about 10 minutes ago. That's why I gave my introduction. So who can tell me, why did Allah create his laws, his rules, his obligations? Why didn't he just leave us to ourselves to create our own laws? And our people in my Zoom room, do not anger me today. That means I want you people in that Zoom room to get on that microphone, or otherwise I'm getting ready to shut it down. Y'all think I won't? Just watch me. Can anybody tell
Allah
me?
Allah created his laws for one, to, if you abide by them, it's for your betterment. Also, Allah created his laws as a consequence and a protection for us. So as far as in us saying our prayers and doing everything that we supposed to do would be a betterment for us.
Excellent. Excellent. Why did Allah create these laws, these rules, these obligations? For those Muslims that ask this question and they don't know the answer, it's a sign that they don't know what their purpose in life is. It's a sign that they are lacking and wanting in Aqidah. We have to focus on La ilaha illallah. Like she said, Allah created his laws for us so that we'll be able to make the best of our existence here on this earth. Exactly as Sister Sakina said. Oh, wrong mouse. Allah made the laws to benefit us, to prevent us from doing harm to each other and to ourselves. Good job. Any other reasons? There's a lot of reasons we can come up with as to why Allah created these laws. Good job. Go ahead.
And being that our sole purpose in life is to worship Allah, Allah had to create a system that we could abide and look to keep us together and keep that the main focus, that our existence is solely for worshiping Allah.
Exactly. That shows how merciful Allah is. Like she said, Allah didn't just tell us what our purpose in life is. Out of his mercy, he showed us how to fulfill it. So he created these laws, these guidelines, these obligations as a means of helping us to reach that ultimate goal, which is his paradise and his pleasure. MashaAllah. And as the brother here typed, good job, Brother Edward. As Brother Edward typed, if Allah did not create the laws that he created, there would be nothing but chaos, because we're human. We don't know what's best for us. Good job, Edward. I'm proud of you. So there's many reasons why Allah created his laws. That's why when you young brothers ask, how can I implement the laws of Allah in America? A person like me, I'm going to look at you like you crazy. Are you an animal? Are you a dog? Are you a cat? Cats and dogs, they don't have free will. So they survive off of what you call that they have within them? Instinct. Instinct. You're a human being. If Allah didn't create these laws, you'd be given into sex. You would be drinking. You would be destroying yourself. Because as Allah says, humans, we're criminal by nature. We're attracted to everything that's bad for us, everything that's dirty. So Allah is looking out for us. We got to abide by his laws instead of giving into my own desires. That's why I tell you, brothers, be careful who y'all learning this religion from. A lot of these brothers y'all listening to on YouTube are terrorists. Something's wrong with them. They're teaching y'all garbage. Y'all better stop listening to them, brothers. I don't know what's going on. The youth today is messed up. Okay, good answers from everybody. Let's look at the next question. And I'm on to Sheikh Morsi. Yeah, Sheikh Morsi's here. He told me you make sure you shut it down. I will shut it down. We figured it out. Jamali thinks I'm mean. I ain't mean. I'm just a regular dyer. I don't get participation in Zoom. I'm shutting Zoom down. Because guess what? I can stream right here on my streaming program. I don't need the Zoom room. So if they don't participate, I will click the button. All I got to do is hit a button. The button says close. The Zoom room will close, but guess what? I'll still be here streaming, looking just as pretty. Just as pretty. So I'm on it, Sheikh. My teacher. He don't play. All right. All right. What you got to say, Jamali? Jamali. All right. Next question. So we talked about the necessity. There's a necessity for us to have laws from Allah. Now, Allah didn't give us, Allah allowed us to make up our own laws too. But there are some laws that Allah created because he knows it'll keep us in check. So we talked about the necessity of having Allah's laws. And we talked about why, what those laws are aimed at. So I want you guys to answer which one of these is not correct. The necessities of the laws of Allah are aimed at survival and well-being of mankind in this world. Is that true or false? What do y'all think? The necessity of having the laws of Allah are aimed at our survival. In other words, we need Allah's laws to survive. We need Allah's laws, to do what's right in this world. Is this true or false? What do y'all think?
I'll say true.
Good job.
Allah's laws.
Exactly. Allah's laws tell us how to survive. Allah tells us what's good to eat and what's not good to eat. Allah tells us stay away from pork, the flesh of swine. It's an abomination. Allah tells us to stay away from alcohol, stay away from intoxicants, because they're an abomination. They'll destroy us. Allah tells us don't kill yourself. Remember, we talked about that. Don't commit suicide. Don't kill yourself. Never lose hope. Allah tells us don't kill other people. So yes, his laws are aimed at our survival. And his laws are aimed at the well-being of all mankind in this world. Allah tells us don't kill animals out of sport. This is a question that one of the brothers here asked. We got a new brother here who likes to go hunting. And he asked me, he said, Sister Layla, can I go hunting? I said, yeah, you can hunt. He said, for fun. No, we don't go around killing the reindeer. We don't go around hunting for sport. That's one of Allah's laws. Allah tells us that he created the animals to service us. We're there, the purpose of the animals is to provide food, clothing, and shelter. If you kill an animal just for fun, you've deprived that animal of its purpose. And that animal is going to testify against you on the day of judgment. It's going to say, oh Allah, he killed me and prevented me from serving my purpose. That's a wasted life. So yes, the laws of Allah are aimed at our survival and also the well-being of mankind and also others in this world. What about this? Are the laws of Allah the foundation upon which our religion is based? What about this? Is this true or false? The necessity of the laws of Allah are the foundation upon which our religion is based. Can we say that? In other words, are there laws that Allah has based as foundations for us?
Yeah, that I would say that's a true statement, because when we look at some of the laws, like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit fornication, respecting your parents,
Exactly. Those are the 10 commandments. Good job, Geechee. The 10 commandments. The laws of Allah are the foundations of our religion. Like I told the young brothers who couldn't understand what Sharia means. It means the laws of Allah. What are the laws of Allah? You got to implement the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not fornicate. Thou shalt not lay with your neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not sodomize. These are the foundations of our existence, the foundations of our religion. So there's a necessity for the laws of Allah. It doesn't matter where you live. We have to implement the laws of Allah in America. We have to implement the laws of Allah in Canada, in Mexico, in the United Kingdom, in Australia, in Saudi Arabia, even on planet Moon, planet Earth, planet Mars, Jupiter. If we were living in a space station, we still have to live by those laws of Allah, because they're aimed at our survival. They're aimed at the well-being of mankind and the rest of the creation, and they are the foundations of our belief. So mashallah, you guys did good with that. What about this? And by the way, this quiz is catching us up to date as to what we covered last week. We also talked about how if we adhere, if we live our lives abiding by the laws of Allah, we find that our religion, the religion of total submission to Allah, becomes preserved. Can I preserve my religion by fulfilling the obligations of Allah? What do y'all think? Abiding by the laws of Allah preserves our religion. So, praying the 5 prayers every day, paying the zakat, wearing hijab, growing my beard, does all this protect the religion of Islam? What do y'all think?
It does, because that lessens the chance of you not taking in, but bringing in innovation and allowing innovation to take place. So if you know you got to pray and you know this is what Allah wants for you, you will go by that and you will preserve that by going ahead and obligating that, instead of saying, oh, well, if this tells me I don't need to wear a hijab, then I'm going to sneak that in. So you know the basis and the foundation, you will, go with that fully.
Exactly. And also we talked about by fulfilling the obligations, it keeps you in the circle of what? By doing the thing, by praying every day, wearing hijab, saying Bismillah before I eat, Bismillah, that all keeps me in what?
In worship and remembrance of Allah?
It keeps me in remembrance of Allah. Exactly. It helps me to remember what my purpose in life is. It helps me to understand and reiterates to me why I'm here. I'm here to serve Allah. I'm here to please Allah, not man. I'm not here. I could care less what the people think of me. So yes, fulfilling my obligations does help to preserve Islam, which is submission to Allah. What about this? When we enjoin the good and forbid the evil, does that preserve our religion?
Yes, it does preserve our religion, because it's long as we doing what we supposed to do, it shows justice and fairness and everything when we join the good and forbid the evil. So yes, it will preserve our religion.
Good job. Yes, it does. And joining the good, we're reminding ourselves and others that Allah is good. His way is better than the way of man. He knows what man knows not. Man can transgress based on their likes, based on his likes, his dislikes. Allah is fair. Allah is just. Allah doesn't make his laws and rules for punishment. He did before Islam. There were a lot of laws that Allah made for the people of the book that came before us as a punishment. But not now. The Quran replaced all of that. The Quran replaced all of that. And Allah let it be known all of his laws are for our betterment, not as punishments. So yes, we can preserve our way of life by enjoining everything that Allah said is good. And that's why I tell you, brothers, be careful using the word haram. When you say that something is haram, you're saying that it is bad, it is dirty. You're going to tell a Muslim that they can't wear braids in their hair, that braids are bad and dirty, it's haram. Who said that? The Prophet Muhammad wore braids. Are you crazy? You're going to tell a Muslim woman that she can't wear colors. You're saying that colors are bad and dirty. Who said that? The Prophet's wives wore every color in the rainbow, including yellow. Okay? You're going to tell Muslim women that they can't wear makeup. Who said that? You're saying makeup is bad and dirty. Who said that? The Prophet's wives wore makeup. It's all in the hadiths. The men wore makeup too, to get technical. So we enjoin everything that Allah said is good. And we forbid everything that he said is evil. Not what your school of thought said is evil. Not what your sheikh said is evil. You're going to tell a Muslim they can't write a book. I am an author. I write books. You're going to tell a Muslim, you're going to destroy a young Muslim's dreams by telling him that he cannot write a novel because it's lying. Who said that? Did Allah say that? Did the Prophet say that? Was that the understanding the companions had? Aisha was one of the best poets of her time. Kanza was a poet. The Arabic people were poets. They wrote many poems. Some based on things that happened. Others based on things they wish would happen. Did the Prophet call it lying? The Prophet allowed it. So how dare you destroy a young person's dreams by telling them that they cannot write a book? Instead of you just saying, I don't know because I'm stupid. Because that's what you are. You're stupid. You were stupid when you gave that answer and destroyed that young person's dreams. Kanza's book of poems is used to this day. And she was one of the companions. And yes, they were love poems too. Some of her poems were love poems. So how dare you destroy the Muslims' dreams today by telling them that writing a novel, a fiction book, is bad and dirty. Allah didn't say that. That's why I tell y'all, Layla don't deal with opinions. Don't ever accuse me of don't ever say that my website is opinion-based, because it ain't. I'm here to destroy the people's opinions. I'm here to destroy them and bring you back to reality, the truth. Okay. What about this? Oh, y'all got the answer right. I'm sorry. Oh, Sister Wefat said, I am so dramatic. You think so, Wefat? It runs in the family. That's that Arabic blood. You're dramatic too. She said, yes, it does. She said, you're so dramatic. Arabs are dramatic people. All right. So now that served as the intro to what we talked about last week. And so now what I'm going to do is continue on with the second category. The second category. So if fast, the people on LinkedIn, I got my LinkedIn brothers and sisters here from the Emirates. I wish y'all could see some of the stuff they're saying. Okay, they typing in Arabic too. None of that Arabic stuff. Y'all know I can't read that because my eyes is too small. Plus, y'all don't use vowels. You got to use vowels. I can't read the Arabic unless it's got vowels. Born in the USA. All right. Okay. Today, we're going to speak about the second category. The second category of Allah's laws. And the second category of Allah's laws are to preserve dignity, to preserve your lineage, and to preserve progeny. Okay? This is another reason as to why Allah made the laws he made. Not only for our survival and for our success in this world, but also he made the laws he made to protect our dignity, to protect our family, our property, our children. And what do we mean by this? Well, this necessity directly impacts the Muslim family. Remember, the family is the core of our existence. The family is the first building block in the Muslim community. And so Allah's laws implement intense defense of the next generation. Allah wants to preserve and protect us. So, the rights of our children, the rights of our offspring, the rights of our family are protected by Allah. This is why, for example, guys, adoption is haram. One of the new shahadas asked me, can she adopt a child? No, astaghfirullah. Adoption is haram. Allah says that. Adoption destroys the lineage of the family. Adoption destroys the progeny. Okay? When Allah is all about protecting the dignity of the family, Allah is all about protecting the lineage and the progeny. Remember, guys, the kinship. The kinship. After Allah created us, the kinship rose. The kinship has rights, and the kinship is under the throne of Allah. On the day of judgment, when each and every one of us as Muslims go across that Sirat bridge, we will be faced with the Prophet Muhammad. He will be standing at the end of that Sirat bridge, and on his right will be truthfulness. And on his left will be the kinship. And as we walk across that bridge, the kinship is going to call you out if you severed its ties, if you lied about it, if you violated any of its rights. So Allah is all about protecting the kinship. So he's got laws in effect. For example, thou shalt not adopt. Adoption is a sin. It's haram. And I see I got 1, 2, 3, 18, 19, 20. I got 3 sisters who just left the room. And these 3 sisters were new shahadas that had been asking me about this adoption. And I guess they didn't like my answer because I see all 3 of them left. I didn't make the laws. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the guidelines. Allah did. It's just my job to remind you of them. So Allah made many commandments, to protect the dignity of each and every one of us, to protect our lineage and our progeny, such as adoption. Another example as to how Allah protects the family. It's another one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not fornicate. I want to see how many people get ready to leave out now, because a lot of you Muslims are fornicating. A lot of you Muslims are adulterating. Why does Allah put this as one of the 10 commandments and one as the worst of the major sins? Because fornication, adultery destroys the kinship. It destroys the family. Marriage is the only way that we can maintain accurate ancestry. Okay? It's the only way that we can keep the laws of inheritance together. Children being born out of wedlock, you don't know who their daddy is. And we can't go around imposing kids off on families that they don't belong to. And so many of the early scholars, and when I say early scholars, I'm talking about the companions, because they were the first and the best scholars of all time. Early scholars like Zayd ibn Thabit. Zayd ibn Thabit, he specialized in genealogy, inheritance. Even Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr specialized in genealogy, inheritance, and all that type of stuff. So, fornication is a horrific sin, and it brings about some horrific punishment. And adultery is a horrific sin too, that brings about an even worse punishment. And not only did Allah make laws such as these to protect the family from being violated through lineage, through honor, but also Allah made laws protecting you and me from being slandered too. You cannot accuse women or accuse men of adultery or fornication unless there's proof. For example, Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, and those who accuse women and then do not produce 4 witnesses, lash them with 80 lashes and do not accept from them testimony ever after that. So if you make an accusation accusing a woman of adultery or fornication even, or accusing a man of adultery or fornication even, and it's a lie, you got to have 4 witnesses. Those witnesses have to have seen them in the act. Those witnesses have to swear by Allah that they actually saw them having relations, not kissing, not talking. They have to have seen them in the act. If they don't have the witnesses, there's a severe punishment. So as Muslims, you see, Allah made these laws to protect us. We can't go around making accusations against people. Okay? Evidence is for the person who claims, and the oath is for the person who denies the charge. So based on this, each allegation must be sustained by proof. Otherwise, the accuser will suffer the punishment. Y'all see that? So again, Allah made laws to protect our dignity. There's a need for this because human beings are jealous. Human beings are weak. We can make up lies against each other. Okay, so Allah made these laws to protect the innocent from something as gross as slander concerning adultery, fornication. Also, again, dignity, family, property. These things are sacred in Islam. And that's why Allah made laws such as this. O you who believe, intoxicants in all forms, gambling, arrows for seeking luck or decisions, they are all an abomination of shaitan. So avoid that so that you can be successful. Here, Allah is telling us to stay away from anything that's going to mess up our head, that's going to make us not use our intelligence to the best of our ability. Okay? Why come we can't smoke weed? Why come I can't smoke a cigarette? Why come I can't do drugs? Because it's going to mess up my head. It's going to make me high. I'm not going to be at my best. Islam wants us to protect our mind, to protect our intelligence. Allah hates ignorance. Allah tells us to turn away from the ignorant. A person that's ignorant end up making bad decisions that can end up harming others. So Allah commands us to protect and improve our intelligence. Okay, anything that's going to cause harm to our mind or our ability to think, we have to stay away from it. Does everybody understand that? So now you see there's a necessity, because as human beings, we're attracted to drugs. We're attracted to sex. We're attracted to dirty things. So Allah had to create laws. He had to make laws and guidelines to keep us from falling victim to that necessity. Okay? And not only did Allah make laws to protect our intellect, but also Allah knows his creation. He knows that human beings, we are not only people that give in to our desires and our lust, but we're people who can't control our emotions either. We let our jealousy get out of hand. We let our anger get out of hand. So Allah made laws to protect us emotionally too. We have this hadith, whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told one of the companions, he said, "Did you come to ask me about piety and sinfulness?" The companion said, "Yes." So the Prophet clenched his fist and he struck his chest and he said, "Ask your soul, ask your heart, what is righteousness? Ask your soul, ask your heart, what is sinfulness?" He said, righteousness is what reassures your soul and your heart. Sinfulness is what wavers in your soul. In other words, what your soul desires and what puts tension on your heart, even if people approve of these things. So again, you can see from this hadith, the Prophet Muhammad is telling us, check your emotions. Our emotions lie in our heart. Our sins, the sins are from the soul. The emotions are from the heart. We have to constantly check our soul to make sure that we're not being inclined towards those things that are bad and dirty. And on the other hand, we need to consult with our heart to see if my heart is desiring things that it shouldn't desire, wanting things it shouldn't want. If my heart is being attracted to things it shouldn't be attracted to. So that's what jihad and nafs are. And that's why Islam encourages us to struggle. As Muslims, every day of our lives is spent struggling between our heart and our soul, trying to find the balance so as not to give in to sin and so as not to fall victim to bad emotions like loneliness, like despair. Despair leads to suicide. Loneliness leads to sin. Depression leads to the jinn. When you hit the road of depression, your jinn got you now. Okay? And also, finally, the laws of Allah are aimed at protecting our property. That's why Allah put many laws out. For example, Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, and eat not another person's property unjustly. Do not rob, steal, deceive, nor give bribery to a ruler. So again, we have to honor the rights of Allah and the rights of people. As we talked about in our previous classes, anyone who claims La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, their life, their property, their honor is sacred. And with the non-Muslims, we don't go around attacking them either. Their property is sacred too. Their honor is sacred too. Their life is sacred too. We don't go around stealing from others, killing others just to take what they have. This brings about a big consequence. For example, in Islam, if you steal and you're found guilty of stealing, even if it's from a non-Muslim, you're going to lose your hand. That's the law in an Islamic country. In the West, you're caught stealing, you're going to go to jail. You're going to do some time in jail for stealing. And you're not going to get no support from the Muslims because we Muslims enjoin what is good. We Muslims forbid what is evil. You had no business stealing that man's car. So you got to do some time in jail, bro. It's just that simple. Okay? So, the Islamic laws has established punishments, and also not only punishments, but Allah's laws have also established severe deterrents to keep you from taking other people's property, to keep you from violating the honor of another Muslim by accusing them unjustly. Listen to what Allah says in regards to the stealing. He says in the interpretation, the meaning, cut off the wrist joint of the right hand of the thief, be it male or female, as a punishment for what they committed and as a way of example from Allah. Okay? We already talked about the punishment for fornication. And adultery is one of the only 3 sins. There's only 3 sins in Islam that bring capital punishment. There's only 3 sins that bring capital punishment, and adultery is one. Why? Because adultery destroys a whole family, a whole nation. Okay? So that's what we wanted to go over today, guys. These are the necessities. This is the first category of laws, the laws that we need. And why do we need them? Because without these laws of Allah, we wouldn't be able to survive justly here on this earth. We would end up violating one another's rights. We would end up violating Allah's laws and rights too. So we have to have Sharia, Allah's laws. Okay? We have to honor those 10 commandments, no matter where you live. We have to be kind and just and fair to people. We have to be free of racism, free of tribalism. These are all the laws of Allah. Without these laws and these rules, we would end up in chaos. All right. Are there any questions or comments? Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Any questions or comments? Is this stuff clear? Yeah, I tried to keep it
It's clear.
Okay, when we meet for this class on Thursday, I'm going to give you a quiz on what we talked about today. And then we're going to continue with the next 3 pages of the book. All right. And also, before we end for tonight, please support us, guys. We need donations really badly. We still have the Zoom room and stuff getting ready to come out. It probably done came out. And we didn't have but what, $30 or $50 in our account. Please donate. Remember, we are a nonprofit organization. Your donations go to pay for these videos, the streaming everything that we do here. And also, you get the reward. You not only get the reward for any Muslim that learns anything here, but you get my reward. You get Kareem Abu-Zayd's reward, Dr. Jamali's reward. You get whatever rewards Allah has given us. And life is short. People are dying all over the world. You never know when death is going to come knocking on your door. You're going to wish you had these deeds. This is ongoing charity. This will help you in the grave. Oh my God. So please support us. All right. If there's no questions, I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the 6:30 class and this 9:30 class. It's the prayer. Yeah, the prayer is tomorrow. I'm going to give you a quiz. Yes, it's going to cover the Qibla. We spoke about facing the Qibla yesterday. So the quiz tomorrow is going to cover what we discussed about the Qibla. All right. Okay, inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. I didn't miss no questions or nothing, did I? No. I got it.